Well, I love that last comment from a Russian general: demands a preemptive nuclear strike against NATO. Now, one of the things I noticed when I was flying, and the Cold War was at its height back in the old days, was that the communist philosophy in life is 100% based on materialism. And while they don't mind seeing other people get killed, the leaders of these regimes, they're in it for the good life. They don't want to die. They don't want to go to heaven. They don't want to go to the next life. So even engaged against them, a lot of stuff going on in the 70s, you never really were too worried about a nuclear exchange between the West, Russia and the United States, because of the communist philosophy. Now that's a different matter. If the Muslims, if Iran gets the bomb, the guys over there that don't want to live. So what is this general trying to accomplish, other than the fact that he's probably short S&P and stock index futures? I think he's just reminding the world that even though you're dealing with economically a third world country, you're dealing with a Class A #1 nuclear power, and they are not to be taken lightly. So this news hits the tape and the stock market sells. Again, war should take the stock indexes down. It should stabilize or rally the treasuries. Depending on where it is, it can rally crude oil. It should rally gold. So we'll see how it happens. Okay, just a brief recap this morning. This morning we wanted to sell failure to take out the overnight session high and contract highs. So this is the first short of the day. Nice winner. That's a plus. We wanted to buy 2000, 2002. Market rallies from there. A beautiful trade. 1, 2, a triple top, retest failure, failed to extend and take out the range. It was the right time of the day to get short. The move was over, so you're short again in the 2008 area, and really a nice trade into the mean green area. And then this Russian general shoots his mouth off, and here we go. You can't trade these markets without stops because of somebody shooting their mouth off or saying something. And I wouldn't put it past these guys to say, let's go get short index futures. Let's put on a big deal, a big short position, and we'll go out and we'll say something. We'll see if we can't help the market lower. So we had a good day trading the S&P. The second buy zone was this 95.97, and we've been trying to buy 90.92s all week long. And it looks like we're finally getting down there. So what can we expect for tomorrow? Tomorrow is our classic news day trade. It is the #1 news day of the month when there's not a potential change coming out of the Fed at the FOMC announcement. So we got a lower high and a lower low. This chart says we can be a seller. And then we've got support here. This new move to new contract highs started in the 85, 87 area. So as long as we stay above this 85, 87 area, this market can trade higher. So F1 says we can be a seller, but it will all be taken care of with a news announcement tomorrow for non-farm payrolls. Tomorrow's news, non-farm payroll plus 223. Hard times for government. Private employment is called up plus 200, not 300. Unemployment, 6.1. Damn, not having any luck at all writing this afternoon. How did I do that? Unemployment, 6.1. Average work week, 34.5, where it has been. And they'll cross-check this number against the first two numbers, and then hourly up 0.2. So 223 is the number they'll key off of, and the second number will be 6.1. Know the news and you have the trade. The number's been pretty good of late. It has shown modest to moderate economic growth, that the economy may be coming back after this year's first quarter. The selling that we have right now is tied to an announcement from Russia. So here's the spill from 95 to 97 will be sell 1, then the spill from 2000 will be sell 2 for Globex only. Tomorrow it'll be another news trade. 85, 87 looks for that. This rally started. Looks to be a pretty good buy level. $2,000 would be a pretty good sell. 85, 87 would be a pretty good buy, based on what we know right now. Okay, the note hasn't really joined in this selling, but it was sold pretty heavily early in anticipation. My guess would be a number model than forecast, like higher than 223. On this particular screen, higher low, higher high. This one favors the buy side. And the market has been run down into tomorrow's news, and that generally favors a rally. The Russian, I mean, if I'm sitting back here seeing these comments from Russia, and they're kind of like comments that come out of China, you know, you want to nuke in Los Angeles, you know, you can nuke all our cities and we'll still have 300 million people, but you can't handle a nuke in Los Angeles. So it wasn't the head of the government that spoke, it was some general that did it. So they get plausible deniability, but the message is the same. And the message is, hey, we're a #1 nuclear power, and if we choose to trade to launch them, we can. And since this administration has come in, we've cut our force to 1,600 missiles. Theirs are still at 5,000, so they got more nukes than we do. Not that you need 1,600 or 1,000. I know they want to take it down to 1,000. Actually, he wants to take it down to 300. That 300 would be still a deterrent, but it would make your guy think, if I could send nuclear warheads to all these missile silos and the rest of it and wipe out their force, you figure out a way to do it to the submarines. You know, maybe we could just nuke them and forget about America. Okay, the last rotate up stopped at 3. So this 3 to 7, selling to failure to take out 4 to 8, I think is the overnight trade. NATO this morning in testing the waters, this 11 to 15 area would be sell 2. Did say that NATO would do everything to support the Ukraine, whatever it took. But we know that's not true. Nobody in the West is going to go to war over Ukraine. And you have to ask yourself, why are these people so aggressively getting after Russia and letting ISIS off the hook? I mean, it seems to me that if you were going to be worried about something and things getting out of hand, it's in the Middle East. It's not really so much Russia and the Ukraine. I mean, Russia and the Ukraine are tied to the hips. Russia, it gets their food from the Ukraine, and there's a lot of manufacturing done for Russia and the Ukraine. And there's a lot of people in the Ukraine that speak Russian. But the Middle East is an area where they're exporting of terrorism that should be paid a hell of a lot of attention to, but it's not. Okay, second buy zone will be 17 to 21, then 25 to 29, down to the news. You know, tomorrow's news, you have the trade. It is that simple. And even though we got a pretty good guess what's coming, a lot of wise people give us fairly accurate estimates. You can't know with 100% certainty what is actually going to come. Okay, we have this 14 area to 21, and then we have here 11. So selling failure to take out, say, 12 to 16. And 20 to 24 would be sell 2. And on the buy side, we're at 07. Got a shot at a little bit lower, but 1 to 5. Be buy 1 for Globex. And if the Russian general says, just kidding, but that usually is not what happens out of one of those countries. A person is selected to say something like that, to shake up the West. They go out and say it. It usually isn't retracted. It's just kind of, by China nor Russia, it's just kind of left there to sink in on the West. So I'm not looking for a retraction tonight. Okay, gold should be higher off of that if anybody puts any credibility to this general and what he said. And we can see that it's not. So my guess is that we're still headed lower. A stronger than forecast non-farm payroll number tomorrow. Should take gold lower, more people going back to work, higher tax revenues, less reason to print money. This is for Globex only. We'll probably lower these numbers tomorrow. I do think we're headed for the 1235, 1240 area. $68 to 70 will be sell 1. And then sell 2 will be 73.75. Okay, crude oil. The Ukraine is not a play for crude. It's a natural gas play, so crude shouldn't do much to a Russian general saying anything. Now, if a Russian general said, we're going to head south and we're going to take out Muslim terrorist base in Iran and Syria and other places like that, it would get a reaction, but not over the Ukraine. So top end is this 95.50 to 96 area. We're 94.53. Last rotate up was 85. So 75, 95. Sell 1, 25.50. Sell 2. On the buy side, 94, 94 and a quarter. Pretty much where we were today, and then 93.50, 75. Now they have really knocked the daylights out of the euro, and Goldman had come up last week saying the new trading target for 2000 was 125 even for the end of this year, 120 even for the middle of next year. Market's not screwing around, are they? They're going to get it there faster. So, and again, I mean, there's no magic in the call. The European Central Bank wants the euro lower. They've got a very weak economy. Europe could be slipping into the second or third recession, depending on your country here. No. Since 2008. So I just, right here when we come back, I just want you to note this volume basically in the 75 area. We had this spill basically at 30, so this 29.75, 130 even area. 130.15 to 25 is where we are, so maybe a little higher on short covering in front of tomorrow's news. So it is 65 to 75 areas, sell 1. and then 90 to the buck for sell 2. On the buy side, I'm going to guess we probably are going to have a little short covering overnight, so 25 to 35 for buy 1. And I don't like the long side, you know that, but I'm just playing maybe perhaps a little too cute for short covering into tomorrow's non-farm payroll number. Folks, that's it for September the 4th, 2014. Time flies when you're having fun. It's just hard to believe. You know, you wake up and all of a sudden the day is gone. So we've had another good day of trading. We've been pretty good on our levels. Our trade setups work as advertised. Once you develop confidence in them, you can use them. The most important decision a trader makes every day is from which side to trade. Got to remember that. You get the direction right, everything else falls into place. In the meantime, I'll see you at 6:45 a.m. Central tomorrow. It's our last hot day here. A big cool down is coming. Hopefully the fall weather's on the way to you. Y'all have a great evening.